Hey, welcome to this podcast where the truth is released to inspire you to find your voice, bring out the gold within you, and help you reach your full potential to roar out loud in the world around you. I'm your host, Mary Street. This podcast is where we believe in turning up the volume on life's practical tips, impart insightful wisdom, as well as share life stories of triumph, resilience, and passion. Get ready to amplify your life and ignite your courage. This is Roar Out Loud. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Roar Out Loud podcast. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. And I've got a special guest on with us today. And she's been on the podcast before. So that makes it even more exciting because I know how much fire the last podcast was. And it was phenomenal. And if you haven't listened to it, go back to episode 31. But we're going to jump in here and I want to introduce her, this amazing woman of God and phenomenal leader, and you're going to love her. Her name is Krystal, and Krystal is an international facilitator in experiential leadership training. And she's an author of a book called Life by Intention. And she's got another book, yes,
I do
out now, and I'll let her tell you.
Not quite, but it's close.
Hey, what's the title of that book real quick, Krystal?
Radically Unoffendable.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like an amazing book to go after and thing to really wrap your head around, because how many people in this world get offended? Yes. But okay, you are an author of several books and you're a speaker. You've literally spoken on stages around the world. And you're also co-owner of a company that your father, Brian Klemmer, started called Klemmer. Right? Klemmer Leadership Training. So tell us a little bit about that. Let's lead in that way. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got to this place.
Absolutely. So I guess the story of how I got started is my father was in character development, leadership development, personal development industry, the growth industry for 30 years, over 30 years. He passed away. Amazing. We like to say he was doing leadership before it was cool. Yeah, in that he started his company, Klemmer Leadership Training, in 1995. And he passed away in 2011. So I was 24 when he passed away. And my mom actually supported in transitioning the organization. I say she kept the company alive while my now co-owner and I stepped in like the blind leading the blind. We had no idea what we were doing. And sometimes that's all it takes to do something, is to not know you can't. And so
I love that.
We stepped in, and I have been full-time with Klemmer Leadership Training since 2012. And we've been growing. So we do experiential leadership trainings designed to create a large amount of change in a short period of time. And we believe that happens through an experience. How-tos are great. It's just most people don't do what they're told. And motivation is incredible. And in my experience, the downside to motivation is it wears off. When you have an experience of something, you almost instantaneously change your heart. And when you change your heart, you change your behaviors almost instantaneous.
Yeah, whether negative or positive.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And I remember, my husband and I went through part of that Klemmer training as well, the quickening. And in that you really, it's something that even before that, it's like we see life through lenses. We talked about that on the last podcast a little bit. And one of the things that I think when it comes to life, everything you do from the time you're a child creates those lenses around you. And you've got to somehow come into this place where you pull those lenses off and you begin to live life intentionally. Talk to me about that. Where did that book come out of? How did you get to that place? How did you even get to the place in leading people? Because at 24 years old, I'm sure you didn't go, hey, I'm going to train thousands and thousands of people like my father did.
I did not. I can remember, and my business co-owner, she tells this story. We just knew, which I think is the heart of purpose. We just knew it couldn't die. And I
Mhm.
didn't know how, which is what living an intentional, committed life is all about. I didn't know how. We didn't know when, we didn't know any of the details. We just knew that the legacy was going to live on. That was the
Mhm.
one thing we knew. And everything else was just in hot pursuit of making sure that other people got the opportunity to have a life transformation kind of training experience like we had both had.
Mhm.
And so at 24, I remember going, we're running a big organization. And I'm like, and it's going under, right? And her and I go, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this thing afloat? I had a zero credit score. Like I didn't even have a credit score. And I was like, I'll just take out every credit card they will possibly give me. That's how I'm,
Did you
she
really
looked
do
at
that?
me. She looked at me like, you're not even going to cover one payroll, right? But I thought, that was my system. So I
Yeah.
think that it was the intention of this legacy is going to live on and it's going to be messy. And at the end of the day, it's going to continue. My dad left us a 500-year plan that he had
That's
designed when
amazing.
he was at the helm. Yeah. And so we had great roots to pick up and run with.
Mhm.
And life by intention is something I no new idea under the sun. I really feel like I just have been mentored really beautifully by so many people. My dad learned from somebody who learned from somebody, and this company we've been teaching this formula of champions, $1 million formula, intention plus mechanism equals results for 3 decades now, and it was handed to me. And in 2020, I would love to tell you that I had like this beautiful reason for writing a book and I just really wanted to impact the planet. And yeah, that wasn't it. It was 2020 and I was mad that I couldn't do live experiential trainings. And I felt frustrated and I felt victim and I was complaining. And my team, which I think is why you get to have a beautiful, strong accountability team around you at all times, was like, okay, Krystal, that's what you can't do. What can you do?
Mhm.
I was a little peeved.
Yeah, you're totally
And
pissed, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm stuck. I don't get to travel.
right, you know more than anybody. And I
Yeah.
said, well, I could write a book. And they said, okay, by when?
And did you go like, I can write a book because this has been something that's been in my heart to write? Or are you like, oh, I can just write a book and it flippantly came out of your mouth and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what did I just say?
Ye- I had already had an idea list of probably 8 books that I knew that I wanted to write at some point. I just didn't think I was ready, qualified, had time, all of the things.
The
And
lies.
2020 opened this door, and I picked this particular topic because, from my perspective, this formula is all about how to solve a problem when you have no idea what to do.
Right.
And I thought that that was a really relevant 2020 message. How do you solve a problem when you have no idea what to do? And that's where Life by Intention formulated.
I love that. So, Krystal, how do you live life by intention?
Yeah, so our definition of intention is your deepest, most passionate commitment. And you'll always know your intention based on results. How do I live my life by intention is 100% commitment to the things I say matter most.
Mhm.
Now, do I drop the ball? All the time. I am the most human person you will ever meet. And I don't sugarcoat that for anybody. Don't put me
Yeah.
on a pedestal. I get to have awakening conversations with feedback all the time. And that intentional practice
Hmm.
of what do I say matters most
Hmm.
from so many different directions. What do I feel like God's calling me to the deepest degree,
Hmm.
even if it's the thing I'm the most afraid of? And then how do I place intentionality in that area so that based on results, my dad used to say this all the time, base it on results, often harsh, always fair. I'll know whether or not I'm living life by intention based on the results I'm creating in my life.
That's so good. Say that again.
Yeah. So I will know based on results,
Yeah.
often harsh, always fair, what I have been intentional about in my life.
Hmm.
And sometimes I think I'm being intentional about one thing, and fast forward 6 months, and I go, whoops, I was very intentional about the business. And I get feedback that my family, I say family first, but my family's going, hey, we got left out. And now I
Mhm.
get to recalibrate to make sure that the things that I say I'm intentional about are actually the things I'm creating.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say in our humanness, we always drop the ball on things like that, right? Talk to me about how when you are wanting to live a life of intention, you know you've dropped the ball, tools to come back into that place of intentionality and go after your goals.
Yeah. So feedback, because I am a firm believer that awareness comes first and awareness gives choice. Like while we are operating blind, it feels like everything happens on accident. I don't believe in accidents, and it feels like it's happening to us instead
Yeah.
of us taking action. The process of being committed to getting feedback in all areas of our life consistently
Mm.
surfaces those areas to even find out where I'm out of intention in the first place.
Yeah.
So that to me is like fundamental. Once I know, if I already know I'm dropping the ball and I just keep dropping the ball, at that I'm just flat out choosing.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, "Oh, you
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 chose it.
know, you
Yeah.
choose it. What you're not changing, you're choosing."
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
The when it's something I wasn't aware that was happening, and then I get feedback that I have a miss,
Mhm.
then it's humility and making agreements, being willing to be held accountable, and really being impeccable with my word. Those things I feel like are foundational. Feedback and accountability, foundational to remaining on track towards the things that we say are important to us.
Yeah. So I've often, we're in this sphere of, pouring into young people and and I also pour into people that are not young, but one of the things that I run across all the time, people are afraid to build a culture of feedback around them.
Yeah,
There's fear in that.
there is fear
Did
in
you,
that. Why do
did
you
you
think
ever
that is?
experience that
I
yourself?
do.
Or did you grow up with that? Like you're like, nope, we just always talked about things and I was able to, you know,
Have I ever been afraid of feedback?
yeah.
Absolutely. So many veins on this. So I actually, when I first started training to facilitate, it takes years and years to train to facilitate what we do. My mentor, well, she was like, it's time for accountability. And I kind of like had like this reaction. She was like, what do you think that means? And I was like, oh, you're going to tell me all the things I messed up today.
Mhm.
And she goes, wow, that's not my definition of accountability at all. She said, accountability is tracking progress, not tracking failure.
So good. Say that again. That is a line right
That
there.
is a line straight, Diane Beintroth. She said, accountability is tracking progress, not tracking failure.
So
And
good.
right? And so many of us are I was so wrapped up in, I was just going to get hammered for all the things that weren't working when the reality is, most of the time we get feedback in life, we don't only get
Mhm.
things that we feel hold us back. We get a wide variety. It's just in our humanity, in my humanity, I get attached emotionally and make it personal when things don't work, which is the other thing that I think has overcome. So, have I been afraid of feedback in my life? Yes, absolutely. And mostly it was because I was working off of a faulty definition.
Yep.
And my dad was really passionate that feedback is just information.
So good. And it's so
Period.
true.
It's
It
so
really is.
true.
I had to learn that for myself. It is just information. I used to always feel, oh goodness, if somebody talks to me about something or has a confrontation with me, like that's a bad thing. I've done something wrong. Like, but again, it goes back to the lenses that we grow up with, things that we walk through in life.
100%. Yeah.
Whether it's trauma, whether it's, emotional words, relationships that failed, a job that failed, it could be anything.
Thing
And even as adults, sometimes we, without realizing it, take those take those lenses on, right? We
all the
do
time.
that.
All the
And
time.
so then it brings us into this place of fear.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it until we're actually operating it and somebody calls us out on it. And or you go, oh, somebody confronts you. in a healthy way and you go, that hurt. Oh, and you're like, oh, but why did that hurt?
Or exactly. Why did I allow that to hurt? Especially if it's going to make me better.
Yeah.
And we ask for iron sharpening iron,
Yeah,
because
that Proverbs
oftentimes,
27:17. Absolutely.
and then we'll avoid it because we don't want the actual friction that happens when iron sharpens iron, which is
Yeah.
actually super healthy in my experience.
Yeah.
So, treating feedback as information and in both directions.
Hmm.
If I am attached to somebody doing something specific with my feedback, if I have an expectation of them, then the reality is I'm going to be, it's not information at that point.
Hmm.
I have basically put them in a spot where my business partner says that's not real relationship, that's hostage negotiation. Like they have to show up in a way you need them to in
Right.
order for you guys to have this healthy relationship, and that's just not real. It's like,
That's
hey,
not real health. That, I
it's
mean, that's not
not.
healthy at all.
It's not. And how
Mhm.
many times uh, well, I'm going to give them my opinion, and then I'm going to base whether or not they love me based on whether or not they do what I say,
Yeah.
which is just
Absolutely. That's
not real
ridiculous.
relationship. But I get addicted to my feedback being heard a certain way, interpreted a certain way, received a certain way. And in reverse, so when I can just deliver it, this is just information. It was just my experience of you in a moment. Then you are empowered to do with that feedback what you feel like God's calling you to do. And
Hmm.
vice versa, when I receive feedback, if it's just information, even if somebody gives me an intense critique,
Hmm.
if I can take it as just information, then it's not a personal attack on who I am or my identity, which they can't affect anyways. It's just, oh, that's information on something that didn't work for another human being. Do I
Right.
want to shift that moving forward? Or did I choose it consciously, on purpose, intentionally for a reason? And
Yeah.
then shake
Okay,
it
so
off.
what do you do? Let's talk about this because people will
Yeah.
ask, I'm sure, like, what do you do in moments like that when you've invited people into your life, right? For that
Mhm.
accountability and to hold you to to your greatness,
Yeah.
I like to say.
Love
And so then what do you do when they do that and all of a sudden you have these feelings that, oh, I feel really ticked off at them right now.
that. Totally.
I feel, I mean, for lack of better words, I feel pissed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you do with that? I know what I would do with that, but what do you do with that,
I know.
Krystal?
I'm like, I want to hear what you would do with that. I had somebody say, a different trainer at a training. I clearly am writing an entire book about being radically unoffendable because of the power for me that exists in non-resistance. And she said she was wearing a blouse with buttons, much like mine has buttons right here. And she said, I wear this as a trigger device because I want someone to push my buttons.
Mhm.
Because if you can push my button, what it is it's revealing a space within me that God hasn't done the healing work yet. So instead of being upset with you for pushing my button, I'm actually going to be grateful that my button got pushed because it identified a place in me that I get to do work.
Absolutely. And doing the work is not a bad thing. Like it's like I'm like, yes, it's that emotional growth and maturity that brings you into that place of like, yes, I'm willing to let my buttons be pushed. And when
Totally.
they're pushed, guess what? I get to go to the Lord. I
Yes.
get to go to my dad and be like, what's going on here?
Totally.
Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so mad at this person? Why do they irritate me when they even talk sometimes?
Totally. God's so kind
Hmm.
to just work with us where we're at and be
Yes.
with us where we're at. And I honestly believe that there's this humility in allowing people. There's the other side of that. If it's not somebody I know and trust, or someone that I honor what they're doing with their life,
Absolutely. Yeah.
like my Jim Stovall tells me all the time, never take advice from someone who does not have what you want
Hmm.
in a particular area, right? That process, though, of a trusted person came in, my button got pushed, I'm in it. I just fully believe I am responsible for my trigger. and
Hmm.
nobody else is responsible for that place within me. And the more work that I do there, the more gratitude I have for them being willing to be honest with me in the first place.
Absolutely. I always say, they didn't make, like, even with my children, no, no, your sister didn't make you feel that way. You chose
Yes, you chose it. You chose it. Absolutely, you chose it. I love that.
and that's the way it is with in friendships too, and in relationships, coworkers, whatever. You know.
Hmm.
So it's being intentional to really lean in and go, okay, what is going on the inside of me? And being at that place where you're mature enough to say, okay, I actually I need to go after this. And it's okay that I go after this. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I actually I'm always taking notes, thinking like social media thoughts.
Hmm.
I find it interesting the things that I allow embarrassment to creep in because I think I should already have that handled.
Mm.
And that is a great new place of awareness for me. If I think I should have already done it, think I shouldn't be offended by somebody saying, think I shouldn't. Now I'm in a great learning place because that's actually the place that God probably really wants to do a work. And it's going to take humility from me to go, okay, I'm not as far as I thought I was in any given area. And I'm willing to lay down my ego because I'm more committed to the growth than I am to the ego.
That's so good. More
My dad,
committed to the
yeah,
growth than you
yeah,
are the ego. Wouldn't you say it's pride, really?
100%,
It's pride that stops us.
100%.
Pride that like makes that ego kick in and not want to hear what people say or even go after your own junk. That's what
Yeah,
I
totally.
think.
And my dad used to say, "Do you hate changing enough to lose, or do you hate losing enough to change?"
Hmm.
Like,
Now that's a line right there. Say that again.
yeah, do you hate changing enough to lose, or do you hate losing enough to change?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. You're just dropping a bunch of one-liners today,
Well,
Crystal.
got them all in my head, apparently.
I think you were raised by a really good mentor that was
I have
intentional with you.
they were very intentional with me and still are. And that's what I love is like so many of us have the ability to have those around us all the time.
Mhm.
It's one of the blessings of podcasts and books and all this stuff. It's just how often do we allow those things to wash over us instead of like actually get deep?
Yeah.
And I hope that whoever's listening to this podcast, you don't even try to grab all of it and you grab one thing and you're like, I'm committed to intentionally practicing that thing this week. And hopefully that's the thing that starts to shift your life.
Come on. That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about your book, going back to your
Mhm.
book. What was something that literally, or let me phrase it this way, what was the single most impactful shift in your mindset that you experienced while writing? What was that like shift? Like, was there any kind of shift that took place, or maybe even like triggers that you experienced when you were writing living life by intention?
Pay attention. It's fascinating. I'm so triggered by the book that I'm currently writing that I'm like thinking back, I was like, that was
Well, okay,
easy in
let's talk about
comparison.
even like so your writing process. Like, have you had like impactful moments where you're like, whoa, this is actually triggering me. This is a way, or, stirring something in me that's like, oh, I didn't even realize that that was there.
Absolutely. Annalisa says hi, by the way. And she and I talk, she holds me accountable to writing my book. And the amount of times that we have laughed because I think God sets up situations so that I have circumstances to walk through, so that I have more things to write about. She's like, "So you're in resistance to writing about resistance again, huh?" Like, sure am. And probably the deepest, if I was going back to life by intention and the thing that I feel like I was experiencing breakthrough in that, and still, who am I to? That very much feels like who am I to write about? Somebody gifted me this formula. Somebody worked with me on all of these things. God gave me the awarenesses. Who am I to be the one that writes it? Like that really has been, and in writing and speaking in general, has been something that the Lord's really gotten to work with me on because I just feel like there's
That's so
And
good. I call that
in,
imposter syndrome.
yeah, I feel like there's an infinite number of people that are more qualified than me. And it's not that I'm not good at what I do. It's just there's gotta be somebody better, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I get you. That is a battle that is in my mind often,
Yeah.
and I always have to like, yeah, the Bible talks about taking those thoughts captive.
Yeah.
And I go back to like, oh, wait, I'm a daughter of the King.
Yeah.
Like he has put everything inside of me
Yeah.
that I need to be able to step up and step out. And
Totally.
the other thing that I really think about too, and that he's really given me to hold on to is that when he puts something in our lives and we're called to step into it, there are people that are going to be called to our sphere of influence. Like, just like with your books, there will be people, and I just finished my book too. There's going to be people that love my book, love your books, but then there's going to be others that are going to pick it up and go, yeah, that wasn't for me. And
Totally.
I just look at that as like, you know what? They weren't called to my sphere of influence. And that has also helped me be able to get past that kind of like imposter syndrome, I think to a degree. It's
Yeah.
like God puts who he wants in our path.
And you're designed to speak to certain people, which is so refreshing. My pastor does tell me every human on the planet is not your mission, right? Like it's like
That is so true. That's so
it's
true.
so real. Yeah. And the biggest, and this book particular, and maybe because I'm still in it, has multiple chapters on the way that we resist that maybe most people don't see as resistance.
Mhm.
And the one that most recently the Lord's been really working with me on is apathy, and where I've allowed non-resistance to become apathy and how destructive apathy actually is. Because from an outward appearance, you can't tell how much decay happens there.
Mhm.
And so getting to really get like cracked wide open in the commitment to caring is like, I cannot be in true surrender if I don't care. I cannot
That's
be
so
true
good.
surrender if I'm not passionate. I cannot be in true surrender if I've given up at any level. And
Mhm.
that has reawakened something in my spirit that's been really exciting and
Mhm.
very humbling. And all of those things like the ability to change and
Yeah.
remain passionate in that
Mhm.
is beautiful.
I love how that's awaken your spirit. Like, I love how God intentionally, because he's intentional. He's such an intentional God,
So
right? With us. And I love how he comes in and he really takes us in this space and on these journeys to really crack, like you said, crack
yeah.
things wide open because he knows how we need to be rebuilt. Actually, I literally
Totally.
just had the thought of Humpty Dumpty, right? Sat on the wall, fell
Totally.
over, cracked, and then got put back together. Like that, that's God wants to do that with us. And it's
Yeah.
not a bad space.
No,
It's
and we've
not
made that
bad.
work in our society. Bad, wrong. Like if it's too challenging, don't do it. If
Yeah.
it's too
It,
uncomfortable, don't do it. And it's like, actually, that's the reverse. If you don't
yes.
think you can do it, you really should do it.
Yeah.
Like
And
that.
also in Christian circles, a lot of people are like, if it doesn't have peace, don't do it. You know what
You
I
could
mean?
say that again. You could say that again. Yeah.
Yeah. In Christian circles, a lot of people say if it doesn't have peace, don't do it. How many times, Crystal, have you stepped out into things that you didn't necessarily feel peace, but you knew you were
Totally.
supposed to do it?
Yes.
Me,
All the time.
yes.
I
I
everybody's
believe,
like,
yes, peace is one third of the kingdom, right? The
yeah.
Bible says righteousness, joy, and peace. Like, peace is one third of the kingdom. We are to carry peace. You can carry peace in hard situations.
Yes, 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 yes. You can choose to experience supernatural peace through divine connection in the most challenging situations. Peace is
Yes.
not peace unless it's tested. Peace is not like, well, everything's going perfectly right and you feel comfortable in all the things. Is that even peace at all? Because it doesn't actually take peace to be peaceful in that kind of circumstance.
No,
Where peace is so supernatural, is like there is no way, reason, explanation for the fact that I can experience peace in this challenging chaos while my
exactly.
muscles are being challenged. Like that's good.
Exactly. And
I,
I believe when you're in it, in the storm,
in
you
the storm.
know, it's possible to walk in that space with the
Yeah.
Father and still have that peace when you become intentional
Yes.
about pursuing the
Yes.
peace.
Yeah.
Because it is a choice.
It is
We
absolutely a
get to
choice.
choose, okay, right now in this hard situation, am I going to choose peace
Yeah.
and walk through it even though I feel like I'm being torn on all sides? Because you can't do it alone. It really is, like you said, supernatural.
Girl. Exactly.
And you can only come into that place, that supernatural realm, when you partner with a supernatural God.
Yes, exactly. 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 The other thing that I think is fascinating is people will say, I hear all the time, like searching for clarity, searching for clarity, searching for clarity, searching for clarity. I'm just waiting for the Lord to really clearly tell me. And I heard it said, I wish I could quote the person, don't allow clarity to become your idol.
Yes.
Right? And how in my experience, most of the time, God's calling me to step out in faith far before I have clarity on the path.
Exactly. Me
It's
too.
intentional. He'll give me a very clear, this is where intentionality like matters because I get clarity around the end result or the first step. I don't get clarity on like I don't get a map. I don't know if everybody else got a map. I don't get a map. I get an instruction, I get a first step, I get that. And then it's like, now I'm asking you to lean out in faith when you have no idea what to do. I'm asking you to walk anyways. Because one of my favorite sayings, I'm just all about the sayings today, is God won't bless steps you're unwilling to take.
Yes. Yeah.
We
I
get to get
I
in
always
motion.
say we need to get in the ring with him first.
Yes. Get in the arena.
We need to do that. We've got to step in.
Yes.
I've always seen whenever there's forward movement in my life, and even people that I've coached, like whenever there is forward movement on your life, it's when you've chosen to take the steps, when you're intentional about creating those steps towards goals that you want to unlock and different things like that. Like it's so
Totally.
important to be intentional in that space and really step into the arena with the Father.
So good. A great imagery. Someone was talking about on a different podcast that God, like, imagine like GPS, like you have your intention, which is your destination, and you're walking with God to the intention, right? And the second you get out in faith and you're pursuing the intention, it's not like your GPS yells at you and goes, "You made a wrong turn.
Right.
Stop. There's no way to get there now. It's over." Like, turn the car off,
Mhm.
get off and walk. Like, I think God that is doing that. He's going, okay, yep, you might have had a misturn here. We can rework that, go this way, go that, and then we're going to make another wrong turn and continue to go. And we're intentional. We stay in motion. We continue to find solution, not out of force, not out of willpower, out of, in my experience, like a divine creativity going, like, I'm walking with you. And
Absolutely.
that level of intentionality, I think
And trusting your Father in the
is
process.
absolutely.
I mean that's one of the things that I wrote about in my book. It's like you have to unlock that little bit of mustard seed faith, right? Like, well, I shouldn't say unlock. That's not what I said in the book. It's actually it's in us, right?
Yeah,
He created us, I believe, with that mustard seed faith in us. What you do when you're stepping out, you have to choose to step into that place of trust. And it's the trusting that unlocks that greater realm of faith.
totally.
And with that, you're able to be intentional. You're
Mm,
able to see, because when you step out, that faith comes, right? It's that
yeah,
he's with me.
Yes,
He's journeying with me in this process. Like he's with me and I can trust he's a good dad. He's not going to let me fall.
totally. And
He's
a
not
good
going to let
dad
me
will
fall.
also let you build muscle.
Yes.
He won't let you fall, and he's gonna let you get. I watch my husband out with my kids. I wish somebody, you know, I got a little more of a warning of what it looks like for a father to build men.
Oh, yes.
And he's okay when they take a baseball too hard to the arm
Mhm.
or trip and fall in the dirt or whatever that is, because it's building their capacity to get back up. And he has
That's
such
so good.
belief in
Yes.
them that they get back in the arena. And so many times I think we fall on our face, miss the base, whatever, and we're like, he left me. And it's like, no, he's
I'm
training
disappointed in
you.
him. He's
Yeah.
this, he's that, and you get into that space of just like inward, your eyes are inward instead of
Oh,
upward.
that's so good.
And then when your eyes are so inward, you're not focusing on what is in the path in front of you actually, or even where that open door is. You can so miss it
Totally. Yeah.
because of your choices.
A Absolutely. And trust is a choice, right? And
Mhm.
trust it in its best iteration is not reliant on another party. Trust is because I built trust and I choose to trust.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
ballgame.
And when I say what I just said, like I'm not negating like feelings, right? Like feelings
Oh,
are
no,
true. God created feelings. Like
totally.
he wept, he was sad, he was angry,
Yeah.
like all those different feelings. So I just want people out there to really hear that. Like
Yeah.
feelings are important. You lean into them, but it's what you do with them that matters.
Yeah.
That's
Another
what I
favorite
always
saying,
say.
feelings make incredible passengers, terrible drivers.
Yes. So good.
Bring
They
them
do.
along for the ride. They're there on purpose for a reason. They're a
Mhm.
great co-pilot. Don't let them take the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then we'll make decisions that are out of alignment with our values and our character based on our feelings, which are fleeting.
Mhm.
And we were designed to feel them for sure, just not to allow them to take over.
Yep, exactly. That's so good. That's
Yeah.
so good. I want to ask you, how would you coach people to stay in that gap between intention and result without losing that hope? Because when you're dealing with disappointment, when you have all these things, sometimes it's like you have this veil, right, over your eyes, and it's hard. Sometimes people feel like it's hard to get past that. So, how would you coach people in that space?
In the messy middle,
I like that, the messy middle.
in the messy middle, and most people want to quit in the messy middle. It's like that's where all the
Hey,
growth happens, is
I've
in the
been there.
messy middle.
I've
Yeah.
been there.
I truly believe that belief systems are so critical. And to your point, what you believe about God, what you believe about your capacity, what you believe about messy, when I start to rework belief systems that support me in the messy middle, it allows me to stay in motion.
Mhm.
So, like you said earlier, God's not going to let me fall. He might let me fall, but he's not going to leave me. He
Yes,
brought me this far. He put the dream in my heart. He did not bring me this far to leave me here.
exactly.
So that's like something that supports me that I coach people in. I really believe another thing is, so we use this formula. Am I more committed to my mechanism or am I more committed to my intention?
Mm.
That has absolutely supported me in unlocking more solutions where I previously thought the dream was dead.
Yeah.
When I'm in that place where I'm like, there isn't a way, it's like, no, I just consciously don't know what the way is.
Mhm.
My subconscious is 100 times more powerful than my conscious. So that's got at least more solutions. And if I'm connected to God, which I believe that we all are, then there's an infinite number of ways to solve this problem. I just haven't been close. If with God, all things are possible, and I haven't created something yet, that just means I haven't been with Him enough
So
with
good.
God. So getting back in his presence to go, okay, what do you want me to do? What's your next divine step? That is huge.
Hmm.
So, and then designing, those are just a couple of belief systems that I believe are going to support when you feel hope dwindling or reconnecting to that. And then there are some ways that we teach to raise intention in the middle to get you unstuck. The power of visualization, which God uses all over the Bible, he
We
tells
created our
Abraham to go,
imagination. I tell people that
right?
all the time.
All the
Hey,
time.
I feel like often places, even, in ministering different things, like people are afraid of the imagination.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, at what point did you quit imagining? Like when you're a kid, you play with your dolls, you play with your bears, you play with your figurines, your GI Joes, your cars, your whatever, and you imagine things.
Totally.
And so God created the imagination, and the imagination is a good thing. I actually really feel Holy Spirit right now.
Don't take
This
it
needs
back. That's what I'm
this
hearing. Take it back. Yeah.
needs to be said. Yeah, we need to take back our imagination. And God will give us those pictures. He will give us things to really direct us. Talk about that, what you were going to talk about, imagination.
It's one way to raise intention. And I think to your point, I experience a lot of Christians that are like, uh-oh, she's going woo woo. I'm not
Yes,
going woo woo
it's
on
not a
you.
woo-woo
It's
thing.
not a woo
Jesus
woo thing.
created us with imagination.
Seriously. And then we've given up this huge tool because we think it's woo woo. And it's to me, he created it. He took Abraham out of the tent. Look at the stars. He's painting these pictures, these beautiful things. And how do we step back into that? So I was taught by a mentor of mine, Bob Harrison, deep respect for him. And he teaches about the law of dominant images. Your life will always move in the direction of the images you allow to reside in your heart, period.
Mhm.
So if we take that back and we rewind a little bit, then if we're talking imagination and people go, well, I don't do that. Do you worry? Then you're a
Exactly.
great imaginer. You're great
You,
at it.
y-
You're just allowing the devil to run the show.
I
Like
love that.
you're great at it.
100%.
So
Yes.
let's kick that belief and go, okay, well, if I'm doing it anyway and I'm allowing something else to be running my thoughts, I'm going to take them back, make them captive and obedient to Christ. I'm going to paint some pictures, which is the language of the heart.
Mhm.
And now we're getting into imagery. So when I'm in the messy middle and I don't know where to go next, allowing myself to simmer back in the dream and to be back in this place. God called me to this thing. He probably showed me an image up front. Have I allowed myself to reside in that and like rest in that imagery more than I've allowed myself in the
The
fear,
worry, the
worry,
doubt, the
all the other
fear,
stuff?
the
Yeah,
the anger, the disappointment, the hopelessness, the all the
totally.
things. And you know what? God is the God of all hope. I say it all the time on my podcast. He is. Romans 15 talks about that. God is the God of all hope. And he's not a hopeless God. There's only hopeless people. One of my mentors, Steve Backlund, always said that. And it's so true. There's only
Yeah.
hopeless people. We're the
Yes.
ones that choose to partner with that. You can
Hopelessness.
step
Yes.
into this place of like going back to what God has said over your life. Maybe it's through, you know, words that people have prayed over you, spoken or whatever. Maybe it's what you've heard from him in your quiet time journaling, whatever. Go back to that place. Imagine it.
Yeah.
Sit there with him. Maybe you're hurt and you're broken. Imagine yourself climbing onto the Father's lap.
Yeah.
I talk about God, even in my book, like he is a relational God.
Yeah.
And it's like he wants relationship, just like you and I are podcasting right now, right?
Yeah.
You're in Chicago, I'm here in California. We're podcasting right now, but we're here in front of each other face to face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
totally do.
that is what he wants. He is not here in person with me, just like you are not here in person with me.
Yeah.
But yet he is in the sense of his spirit, his
Exactly.
his body, he was fully God and fully man. His body is not here in person with me right now, his
Yeah.
spirit. And we're actually called to live as Christians and as leaders, are people wanting to lead in whatever sphere society we're called to. we're actually, I believe, called to lead from that realm of the spirit. And it takes your imagination to
Totally.
lead from the realm of the spirit.
It does. It absolutely does. And when like, as you experience more and more of that, it feels more, the lie that it's not real dissipates because it
Yes,
is so real.
it's
It's
so real.
so real. Yeah.
It is so, so real. I can
So
remember one time, just story time.
I
I
love
can
story
remember
time.
one time in worship, and the Lord told me, go to the back of the room. And I go to the back of the room, and I'm just laying there, and I am in my mind picturing the Father, picturing God. And He instantly takes me to this place in my imagination. But it
And
wasn't just, it was as real as I am here talking to you.
yeah.
And the crazy thing about that, what he showed me in that space, other people have literally said the exact same thing. They saw the exact same place. They saw the exact same. I'm like, there is so much truth when it comes to the spirit realm. But as Christians, we're so afraid of it. But
Totally.
if we live life with intention in the spirit,
Yeah.
we are actually going to go places with the Father. We're going to
Abs-
be able to unlock things in our natural realm that we never thought we could. And that's where I believe dreams come in, where you begin to dream with him and be intentional with what he puts before you
Totally.
as you dream with him. Things
Yes.
unlock. Keys are released in that space.
Yes. So much so. So much so. And I think most people, in my experience, choose fear when it comes to being that intentional because it's easy to go victim to God and say, well, God's 100% in control. And my dad used to say, well, yeah, God is 100% in control and you're 100% responsible. And
I
choose.
love that. That is so true. Man,
It's so true
we
because if
are 100% responsible.
you're 100% responsible,
And I
if
really believe that we're so much so 100% responsible that I believe we'll answer to God someday for the things that we
yeah,
didn't step into because of things that we could have, tools we were given, experiences that we walked through, things that we could have unlocked for other people.
100%, a hundred
I
percent.
mean, I don't know about you, but I know for me, in a good, healthy way,
Yeah.
not that I think God is some judge that's going to smite me. I used to think that. But no, now I have a love for God so deeply that I fear not actually doing, like stepping into all that He has for me. It's like I have a healthy fear of the Lord. It's
Yes,
like I want to be able to please my Father. I want to step into this place and I want to be intentional with it. I want to live my life in that kind of way. And I want
totally.
to bring as many people as I can with me.
Absolute.
I want to
Absolutely.
unlock it for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. We call it a first day, last day attitude, right? If today was the last day I ever got to be on the planet, I would be urgent about it. And when there is a healthy fear of the Lord, I do have a sense of urgency and responsibility and
Mhm.
commit, not from fault blame, but
No, not at all.
from like I've been entrusted. And
Yes.
that's a big deal. And to whom much is given, much is required. And we all get that beautiful gift.
Mhm.
I want to leverage it to the best of what he wants me to.
Me too. I
Yeah.
want to do that to the best of my ability that how with him.
With
you
him.
know and
Yeah.
he is beyond my imagination, and with it he can
Everyone.
lock so much. And I'm like, yes, let's do it to the best of our ability. God, let's run at our Goliath. Let's go after everything and let's do what you're calling us to do. And that's how I got out of that place of being intent or got into that place of being intentional with finally writing, and cross the chicken line, because let's face it, like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was chicken stepping into that place. Fear of man, fear of
Yeah.
failure, fear of all those things that we wrestle with. We talked about that a little bit earlier. But
Totally.
when you come into that space of being intentional with him and allowing him to walk with you to be intentional in life,
Yeah.
the world is at your fingertips.
It absolutely is in like miraculous ways. What I've watched the cool and like I was 100% responsible and God was 100% in control of that because
Yeah,
there's no explanation for how we got from here to there. And here we are. And it is more than I could have ever dreamed.
I love that. I love that. Well, Krystal, we have to bring this down.
Yes.
But I've loved being on this podcast with you. You always drop so many awesome fire bombs and for people to take away. And it's incredible. I love what you do. You're so intentional with people and you're such incredible leadership. Guys, if you're out there listening, I know many of you guys will be, doesn't matter what country you're in, what state you're in, you're out there listening, look up Klemmer. I promise you it is going to be impacting for your life if you choose to step into it.
Okay.
Krystal's amazing. Get her books. Krystal, tell them it's Life by Intention, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then also your new book coming out real quick.
Yes. So you
Give
can
them the
visit our
title and
site.
tell us when it's dropping.
Totally. Klemmer.com. You'll find all of our trainings. That's what we specialize in. My book, Life by Intention, is available on that website. It's also available on Amazon, Audible, all the places. And Radically Unoffendable will be launching the first half of this year. So keep an eye out. And I would love to stay connected on all the social platforms. We're all over all of those places. You can either search me, Krystal Zellmer, or Klemmer Leadership Training.
Yeah, Klemmer.com, guys. Klemmer.com. Look it up. You won't be disappointed. It's amazing. There's so many great teachings. You drop them out on YouTube as well
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
different places. So you can find her out there. Krystal, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks for coming
Mary.
on this podcast again. It was so
Fun.
fun. I love you. I love doing this with you. It's so much fun. You are amazing. You, in all your right, are a total baddie.
You too. And I am grateful to be here and share space. It's a good
All
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends and family. Always remember, your voice matters. Your dreams are worth pursuing. And you, my friend, have the power to roar out loud.